yes.
I call to order the meeting of ECCL Governance Committee on May 1, 2025. It is now 5:44. Roll call, please.
Member Mora is absent. Member Carr?
Present.
Member Pryforce is absent. Member Solomon?
Present.
Member Welch?
Here.
Member Van Geffen is absent. Member Chagoya?
Present.
Member Collins?
Present.
Member Donaldson?
Here.
And Member Lee.
Here.
Do we have any public comment?
I did not receive any.
Thank you. In that case, we can go ahead and move to approval of May 14, 2024 special meeting action minutes. Item 4, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve special meeting action minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Moved by Member Welch and seconded by Member Collins. Let's take the vote, please.
Member Carr?
Aye.
Member Solomon?
Aye.
Member Welch?
Aye.
Member Chagoya?
I think I have to abstain because I wasn't at that meeting.
You can still approve them if you.
Okay, aye. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Member Collins?
Yes.
Member Donaldson?
Aye.
And Member Lee.
Abstain.
All right.
Moving on to information item 5.1, after-school program presentation by the City of Emeryville.
Press on green.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Hi, everybody. How are we tonight?
Good.
Now, I'm already upset because I only have 5 minutes. So how can I possibly, but I'm going to try. So we're going to go ahead and get started on checking in about the after-school program. So after-school runs Monday through Friday from the bell for all grades until 6 o'clock every single day, every single school day. We can go ahead to the next slide. This is our team. So this past for just over a year, we've had our new program coordinator. Her name is Tanya Meadows. She has extensive experience, including some teacher education, and she worked in Oakland Unified. We are so lucky to have her. A lot of the new things this year are her brainchild, and it also allows us to have the capacity just to do more work. We also started a new position in our division, a curriculum specialist. So Amy McClure, or AKA Ladybug, who was a line staff last year, moved up into developing all of our curriculum and working side by side with Tanya on that. Most of you know Brian in our front office, our office 2. We also added a new position, a behavior intervention specialist, and we're very lucky to have Noel Shaw, aka Dandelion, heading that position. And then Danisha Tate, who's been in our program and on our staff for 13 years as Hoops, as another program specialist. So Amy and Noel do not have a group. They work outside the group. So throughout the day, they're either doing behavior intervention with kiddos or working directly with rec leaders on the curriculum. Next slide. Our key program elements. So our vision is rec is a safe place where students have fun, learn, grow, and connect. We have opening circles every day. We offer homework and academic time, outside play, enrichment, character development, civic engagement, climate improvement. We have tons of program events, and every day they do closing circles and appreciations. Next slide. Can I do this with this thing? Technology. Academic time and support specifically. So the homework cycle is up there, and we really take pride in doing 2 parts of the homework cycle. Students know how to do the homework. Students have the time and the correct materials to finish their homework. So what do we all do? Of course, we do homework support, but we've added 2 components this year, a math intensifier and an ELA intensifier. And both of those program elements are just doing specific activities to reinforce academic retention of our kiddos. We also work directly with the school day. So shout out to Mila, who actually got us access to the online platforms that the teachers use. And then also Ms. Johnson volunteered her time to go through that platform with Ms. Meadows so that we can do curriculum based on what they're actually learning in class. All of our activities have an element of disguised learning, whether they're writing within an art activity or doing math within a cooking activity. And a lot of our activities are also project-based learning. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, see, I messed it up. Help me. Drew. Oh. Okay. So enrichment and middle school offerings. So the TK through 5th grade have Math Monday, Tasty Tuesday, where they do a cooking craft. We have Wellness Wednesday, we have Creative Thursday, we have Fun Fridays, and they also go to Head Over Heels and Athletic Playground for about 6 weeks at the end of the school year. They actually just started this week, which they're really excited about. Our middle school program completely exploded this year with a club model, and so the kids get to choose what clubs they do. So we have a whole bunch of clubs that they can choose from. I'm just gonna highlight a couple of them. The academic intensifier is a choice to get additional tutoring. And believe it or not, our middle schoolers did choose that option. We have Body Empowerment and Code Blue, which is a partnership with Lifelong. So they come and talk about positive body image, hygiene, and things at the medical field. And so that's a really great partnership that we started this year with them. Lions Roar is a partnership with the wellness team. So Julie upstairs and 2 of her interns do a boys-only group for our 5th through 8th graders. And then our young women's counterpart to that is called Power of the Pack, where our young ladies get to talk about things that are really meaningful for them. Shred and Paint is a skateboarding program that we do. So it started out with art. So they got to decorate the backs of their skateboards and do a lot of mural work activities within their group. And then this second iteration of Shred and Paint is where they're learning how to skateboard. So shout out to Kickflip, which is our Shred and Paint rec leader. He has great friends in the business, and he got professional skateboards donated, and we matched that with head safety gear. And so eventually they're going to be heading down to the skate park to actually, I don't know if they're gonna do it, to be fair. They're all learning. So they might look at the ramps. I'm kidding. They're gonna try their best with how, as they practice here on the playground, and then they'll head for more of a culminating activity at the skate park. And then the last one I wanna highlight is in the community. So our middle schoolers got an opportunity each week to get on public transportation and go out into the community. So they would visit Public Market, they would visit all of the murals within the city. They did a mural tour, and they really, really enjoyed it. And so that's definitely a club that we're gonna bring back next year for them to enjoy. All right. Little funky. Okay, working the heart and mind. So we have a couple of different program elements that we do throughout the year. It's the first around character development is something called a Spirit of Rec Pride Assembly. This happens three times a year within a trimester model. And what they do is they talk about acts of service. So that top right picture there is Omar, one of our custodial staff. So one of the grades picked really appreciating the custodial staff. And so each custodial staff got something special. Omar got posters and stars. Guadalupe got roses. And one of our other staff got cards. And so when they found Guadalupe in the school, we actually made her cry. It was actually really, really sweet. And it's one of my favorite parts of Spirit of Rec Pride. They do a lot of reflections on their behavior, how they're impacting one another, and they also do a lot of conflict resolution skits, what not to do, what to do. The next component is civic engagement. So we have something called Good Trouble Initiative, and it's the kids are picking really important things that they're really passionate about. And so, for example, one of our fourth grade group is really passionate about getting better snack, right? But it's not just that. They really want to make sure that it's inclusive. So we have gluten allergies. We have kiddos that can't eat gelatin. We have a lot of kids that have braces. And so as they surveyed their peers and as they went through this whole process, they got to actually meet with Ms. Parham and really hear from her the process and how hard it is to buy food for like 1,000 people. But also she got really good feedback on what they really liked and what she could do different. And she also agreed to have them be little taste testers for next year's menu. So I thought that was really cool. Let's see. Climate improvement. So we did a curriculum in the first half of the year called All Rise Community and Partnership, and that was really talking about school climate and program climate. And so we talked about bullying, positive friendships, we talked about boundaries, we talked about personality traits, and so that was a whole curriculum around developing their more positive climate. We do a Spirit of Rec Pride assembly where they talk about those things. All the program gets together in the gym. And then we did something around our Black History Month. We had an event discussing race and the impact of our words. And Jordan, who is the Social Justice Club president at the high school, led a whole panel on that discussion with our program. All right, we also have a bajillion events in program. So we have lots of things that we marked this year that we normally do, our Halloween activities. We have Rexgiving that we have, which is a giant potluck. We had our second annual Eid Mubarak activity or dinner this year, and we have some upcoming events. We're celebrating Cinco de Mayo on Monday. We're having a new event called Beat by Beat, and it's inclusion dance. It's a silent dance, so kids from all kinds of levels of excitement can participate at their leisure. We're gonna have our Spirit Week, we're gonna do a talent show, and we're gonna have Pride in June. In addition to Beat by Beat, we had a new event. It's our Valentine's Day dance, and it was really cute to see kids like go to a dance for the first time, but it was even more cute to watch their parents who freaked out because they were like, is it really? They're really ready for a dance? And like they got them all dressed up and they didn't know how to dance. And so it was a teaching experience for all of us. And the bolded events are actually city events that we get to participate in, the Harvest Festival, Pancakes and Pajamas, the Holiday Parade, and the Healthy Families Festival, and Egg Hunt. So there's some additional opportunities that we get to do in our partnership. We started something new this year called Spartans Helping Seniors Tech Crew. So the high school students went to our senior center and helped them with their tech devices. So at the top right corner, you see Aiden up there helping somebody with their tablet. We partnered with the wellness team again, Julie, doing the parent empowerment group. And so it was a support group for parents. And so that's in that middle picture there. We have the teen room, which everybody knows about, so I added a little picture about that. We also have more inclusion opportunities. So in December, when we had Pancakes and Pajamas, I really wanted Santa to visit the special education classrooms during the school day, which he did, and you see them there. He also went to the preschool and saw all of the kids at the preschool as well. And I just wanted to point out something. How am I doing on time? Am I over? Pedro said no, so I'm going to go with Pedro. I just wanted to put something out there. We currently employ 9 Emory High School students, alumni. We also currently employ 3 current high school students. We employ 1 lifelong staff, and we have 6 shared staff between us. So we have folks that work in the school day that then extend their day into after school. We also have 1 staff over at ECDC in a full-time position that was not only former rec staff, but a EUSD alumni. So we just continue to build our relationships and our points of intersection every single day. And it's really an awesome place to work and to be. 192 kids at the height of our enrollment this year. It's a free program for all of our kiddos. Here are some survey responses. I really like the celebrations and rallies. Full disclosure, this kiddo said celebrations. I just wanted to correct the spelling. And of course, we're always learning and we're always growing. I love our kids taking our surveys really seriously, and they're giving us some critical feedback that we will continue to grow and pay attention to. And this is the majority of our team here at a city celebration. So I didn't want to, I said we did a team slide at the beginning, but these are a lot of our rec staff. And as you can see, a lot of our kiddos are reflective of the community that we, kiddos, I think of them as kiddos. Staff are reflective of the communities that we serve. And I just appreciate you all working together every day to make this partnership work. And it is. That's all I got. Sorry. Any questions?
Thank you so much for that presentation. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you. Any comments?
I was wondering, oh, sorry, I'm just,
Yeah, please. I recognize you, Susan.
I was wondering about this homework help and if there is a way for you guys to capture how that's made a difference in the kids that are in rec and the kids that are not at rec. I wonder.
Yeah, there are certain reports that we could work on. I can work with HTA, who is our contractor, to see if we can pull some school day data to see how our kiddos are doing. We do have an informal process around our homework logs to track, just to be available for parents to look at if they have any
or feedback from
questions.
teachers
Yeah,
that, you know.
I mean, even, I think there's a little, we need to build up our communication, processes with teachers around general progress, but the majority of our communication with teachers are when we have a concern about a kiddo. Is it just that we see that in after school? Is it something that we can do different? Are there different activities we can give them? And so when we usually see a concern, that's when the communication teachers happen the most.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comments? Brenda, I recognize you.
So I just want to say thank you. I noticed, and when I came into the meeting, there are several alumni. They're not just Emory alumni, but they also attended Anna Yates. And now they're working and they're grown folks, and I'm looking like, okay, this is interesting how they've aged and some of us stay the same.
No, how do we stay the same age?
I just love it. I love it. But
Weird how
you've done
time
a
works.
marvelous job, and thank you for being there for the kids.
Thank you, it's my
And I
pleasure.
also appreciate the updates that you give us in between our meetings.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Okay, seeing. Oh, Matthew, please go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick, this is really helpful. Has there been public volunteers or any kind of volunteer engagement in any of these programs? Is that something that you're looking for? Would that be a positive, or is that, there may be other?
It comes up informally, so,
Challenges, yes.
the most recent example is one of our Parks and Rec Committee members donated books to the library and the teen center. And it was just manga, I was real wrong. Manga collections. And I just saw his passion for the subject, and I asked him, would you like to do a book club? And so sometimes it's informal, but sometimes it's like more of a community partnership around like athletic playground or HOH, or Kala has partnered with us a lot. Petty Pot is a really great example of a program. They did a cooking class last year for the middle schools. This year they did a cooking class for the high schools. And in both situations, they gave a tour of their facility. So we have really great opportunities, but individual folks can find volunteer opportunities online. They would have to get TB tests and fingerprinted, but it's possible, yeah.
Great, thanks so much. Any further comments, questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, I can move on to public comment if there are any comment cards. No members of the public in the room. Any discussion on the after-school program presentation? Okay, we can move on to item 5.2, solar presentation update.
We have someone online that'll be doing the presentation, Dan, what's his last name? I'm sorry.
Good evening. My name is Dan Banowitz. I'm a school facilities consultant with Total School Solutions, and I've been working with the district and to help with some facilities projects that they have going on. So I'm here to give you just a quick update on the solar project. So just a summary of the project itself, the installation of the photovoltaic system with the battery storage. You see the original contract amount of $5,087,969. There have been no new change orders. Those change orders have not changed. So the current contract amount remains at $5,555,116. You have the estimated annual savings of $234,759, and also last year's electricity costs. Right now, the main contractor for the project is Sizerco Energy Solutions. There are quite a few subcontractors that are completing the work as well. We have an inspector of record and also a special inspector that's necessary because this is a project that is gone through for approval with the Division of the State Architects, also known as DSA. So the IOR and the special inspectors are requirements of that. It's a three-phase system based on three separate DSA applications, so it was built in three different phases. Right as of now, the parking lot and field arrays, so the solar panels, they've all been completed. The rooftop panels have been completed. The battery energy storage solution is scheduled to be completed this week. So right now, the process we're going through is going with PG&E so we can turn the system on and start generating power. At this point, Sizerco has submitted the paperwork to PG&E. We are waiting for a response from PG&E on that. Once we have that, we can send the interconnection letter. And then that typically takes a couple weeks from that point for PG&E to schedule the final inspection and give us the permit to operate. And once that happens, we turn the system on. So we've been in the process for about 3 to 4 weeks now. We're hoping to have everything completed, have the operation permit so we can start generating power by mid-May. And then the battery system will be completed. It's on schedule to be completed by the end of May. So that's where we are. Then once that everything is operational and running, we'll do the warranties work, any as-built drawings, we'll do the project closeout. And then there's a certain amount of time, we have a 5% retention of the $248,012. That's typically 45 to 90 days based on the contract. Once everything is completed, everything is satisfied, and then the retention payment will be made and to close out the project. Next slide. And that's it. So are there any questions?
Yes, please go ahead with any questions or comments from anyone here. Okay, seeing and hearing none. Any public comment, written cards? No public in the room. Any discussion? Okay, moving on to, thank you so much for the presentation. Appreciate it. Really glad that this project is moving forward smoothly. So 5.3, CIP presentation by Emory Unified School District.
You will also be doing this presentation.
Oh, thank you. We're looking forward to it.
So I will be going through this too. A lot of this, once it comes up, you'll see that there's a lot of review to this. So you can go to the next slide. This revenue expenditure, this hasn't changed since the last meeting. So everything is, we have the same amount, the amounts are the same as of April 26th. So that's where we are with the revenues and expenditures. Next slide. Again, this is more review. These are the projects that were completed in the year 23-24. So those were all done. Next slide. Here we are with the expenditures and what had been encumbered for 24-25. Pool heater replacement is something that we're working on with the city. The Pacific Playground, sealing and patching the rubberized play surfaces. Unfortunately, that has, we have a vendor. They have not quite lived up to their obligations to this point. We are working with them to get the work completed. As soon as we can, while around the school year. If they do not, I've already contacted some other vendors. If they fail to meet up to their obligations like they say they will, then we will bring somebody else in to get it done and get it completed. The server and the IT management and the Bell Clock server. If you had any questions on that, I think Sean, the director of IT, is on this Zoom, so he can answer any of those questions. The swimming pool resurface has been done. We're still going through the final period of, you have to, when you resurface a pool, there's a lot of brushing that has to be done and a lot of maintenance during the maintenance period. So we're in that area right now. And the access control is out. If there's any questions, again, that's something I think Sean could answer. And so we have some potential future projects that we've been talking about, camera upgrades, exterior painting. Those are potential projects that is not, they're not, in design or anything at this point. These are just possible capital projects that we could be, if we get the direction to do so, to pursue. Side. I believe that's it.
That's
That's
the
it.
last slide.
That's it. Okay. So any questions?
Any questions or comments from the committee? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Any public comment? Seeing and hearing none, I can move on to any discussion. No items for discussion on this. Thank you so much for the presentation. Appreciate it. Hi, Rebecca. Are we ready for the next one? Item 5.4, update on third-party rental revenue from the city of Emeryville. Rebecca.
Thank you so much. Just a quick overview of our joint use agreement regarding third-party rentals. The CBO, the district's CBO, manages our O&M budget. The city and district each pay their percentage into the operations account, which goes to managing and operating this facility. And then we have a percentage share of that operation. To break that down, O&M, so the operations and maintenance of the facility, 29% from the city, and then 71% from the district. And then CIP is 23% and 77% from the district. And there is a matrix that has been set up to guide us through that through the next several years. And then what we do is the city manages all of our third-party rentals that rent and use this space, from the field to the gym, to this space, to the cafeteria, to the classroom. So anytime after 6 o'clock or on the weekends, and we rent this facility, the revenue goes back to the O&M fund and to offset our costs. And the only cost that we keep is any direct cost with staffing. And so an overview of currently who we have operating here. We have some gym sports. We offer futsal, zog, volleyball, pickleball, and basketball. We have both youth and adult sports soccer leagues, as well as ultimate frisbee. We have swim teams. Our long-term swim teams would be Manatee's Masters swim team and Piedmont USA youth swim team as well. We still have a church that rents from us, not as much as they used to, where they were using this as their meeting for their congregation, but they use it for their meetings a couple of times a month here for prayer groups. And then we are constantly having events here, such as birthday parties, graduations, baptisms, like all the fun family events that the space really is quite loved. They transform this room every time they have something here. And just a reminder of our priorities. So when we're renting this facility, we obviously, the priority number one would go to EUSD, and especially sports and high school sports. So we work with this high school to get their schedule together in order to be prepared to rent the other times. And then City of Emeryville programming, and then we are long-term rentals, because they've been with us since the beginning. Emeryville residents, not like more of our non-organized sports. We have a really great basketball group that's a bunch of friends, and they pay the rental fee all together, and they rent out the gym every Saturday morning for 2 hours, and it's such a great thing to see. And we actually encourage a lot of groups to do that sometimes. It's because it's reasonable priced. Nonprofit organizations, and then we have our non-resident and for-profit businesses. And lastly, an overview of who and how our space is used. As you can see, the number one is the pool, and thank goodness it is open right now. We did open on April 21st. I'm pretty sure the manatees were at the door like at 5 o'clock in the morning, like, let's go open this pool. And so we're really happy to have them all back. Our swim lesson programs began this last weekend, so we really appreciated the support to get that the replastering done so that we can continue to offer all of the programs. And the next highest would be a field, obviously very popular. Having a turf field like this available to be rented is always popular. Gym rentals, and then obviously Building A and Building C, and we will start to see an increase in our teen center this summer because it's going to be a really great birthday space, especially with it being attached to the Walhalla. So it's, you have like a whole situation where you can rent the teen center and also use the outdoor space to run around and have some fun on the playground. And thank you so much again. We, as Kristen said, we absolutely love being a part of this partnership. And so, yeah, any questions?
Yes, please go ahead. Member Collins.
Yes,
Hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you, and
Good to
thank
see
you
you
for
as
your
well.
presentation.
thank you.
We have several new members at the table, city as well as school. And for myself, I too would like to revisit, because I've been doing this for a while, but it seems as though the percentages are kind of shifting. I'm not sure if I recall the 22% versus the 70-something percent.
I'll go back to
But
that
for the sake of
slide.
our new, for the sake of our new members at the table,
Yep.
is there a possibility for our next meeting that we can revisit the rubric as to how we reach those numbers? I mean, I've personally never really agreed with them myself, and I would like to just kind of revisit them and for some clarity and for our new members to gain understanding.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and thank you for that comment. I can share that these percentages have not changed since the opening of this facility. These have been the standard percentages since, and it was part of a very extensive planning and prepared, but I know that Pedro was a part of the opening of the facility and might be able to comment a little bit more on where the percentages came from, but we'd be happy to put something together as far as the.
I'll share that what I'll do is gathered some information that speaks to this. There's the old staff report that gets into the details and the methodology that's used. It was assigned a way of, who has 24-hour use of most spaces, and then it divided up under that, and it came out to a whole percentage, and this is what it came out to at the end. And so it's based on use of space and a certain methodology, but it can always be revisited. The O&M is based off of that and use of space, and that they also did a different methodology to create as Rebecca said, there was a matrix that kind of projected what expenses would be for replacing things. In recent years, they've updated the software in a new system, and I think there's a new number, actually, that we need to look at and probably down the road consider what we should be, reallocating into how much money should go in for future replacements, because as you know, things aren't getting cheaper. But definitely, I'll share that information so then everyone can review it, and then we can bring back and try to answer questions from that at a future meeting.
Yeah, I feel like over the years, there's been several shifts, and I think instead of just presenting the numbers, we should revisit them to make sure we're shifting correctly.
Absolutely.
Just to clarify too, the third-party rentals is not a city thing, it's not a district, it's its own separate thing that benefits both the district and the city, because the revenue goes in and offsets the top of the O&M, reduces that amount. So if operation and maintenance is $2 million and we have 200,000, then that means we're only dividing up the percentage of
The
1.8
800.
million instead of the 2 million. So that's how that also goes. Third-party rentals is to reduce the operation and maintenance. So the more we can rent out and receive revenue, it reduces the cost.
When the time is right, I have some new ideas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Any further questions? Member Chagoya?
Yes, thank you. When you rent the field, does it include the track? I'm asking because there's like a group of parents who wanted to do their steps with kids, and I guess whoever was renting the field, I guess the soccer group,
Yeah.
kicked them out, said that they rented the field, therefore no one was allowed to use a track. So I was just curious if it's separate or together, yeah.
That's a really great question. So we define it as, if it's a practice, the possibility of a ball going onto the track is not as high as during a game when they're playing at high stakes and the balls are being kicked around. It was a little bit more liability around like the walking around that track at that time. So that's the line that we draw with our rentals, and they do know that. Sounds like we might need to do a friendly reminder about who's allowed to walk on the track and when. And actually been talking to my staff about revisiting signage as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No,
yeah.
thank you for
They
sharing
call
that.
me all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not a city
And
council.
feel free
yeah.
to send, if you get comments
Okay.
like, send them our way.
Great, thank you.
We're happy to walk them through that, yeah. Thank you.
Recognizing Member Donaldson?
Thanks, Rebecca. I feel like I ask this every year, and it's always that, are we maxed out at rentals? Like, that we're pretty much maxed out? Or is there room for us to be renting more? The field could be rented more,
The field.
or the pool, or whatever.
Yeah, there's a wait list for the field. The field is the highest requested space. And so we do have a wait list. So when our long-term rentals are taking a break, or they let us know in advance, we're gonna have these days off, then our rental staff actually go out and try and call those other places that are interested to bring in that revenue. They're really trying hard to fill these spaces. We are not maxed out, obviously, in those one-off rentals where we're doing, birthday parties and things like that, like in building A and C. We're trying to find avenues to put more long-term rentals, which goes to maxing out. But, yeah, there's still some room. Still some more
I
room.
feel like way back when, there were visions of like adult continuing ed. We'd have a long-term continuing ed
Yeah,
person, or we'd have a blah, 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 but we've never really had that, have we?
We did, at one point, we did have a rental here prior to COVID. And I'm blanking on the name of the school, but it was an adult school that used the high school side, and it was a really great revenue generator. And we I field some calls of people that have been interested in using this space, something similar, but it never really pans out.
Yeah.
We continue to open up for it, and actually the staff have been working on a facilities brochure to market.
Oh, yeah.
And we've actually been working with our partners here in the city. Griffles hosts their large meetings here 3 times a year.
Oh, yeah.
And so they bring their entire team, they walk them up the block.
Oh.
They fill this room.
Yeah.
And they completely rent this out for their meetings
Oh, yeah,
on a
that's
quarterly
good, because all these
basis.
corporations, this is a big room for that kind of thing.
Absolutely, this space is perfect for that because it's
Yeah.
separate from the school, so they could still do daytime programming as well.
We got the tech upgrade.
100%, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Pedro, would you like to add something?
Yeah, at our peak of rentals, we had 2 church groups here, and we had continuing education, or one of the colleges actually was renting out the high school
Yeah.
for
Loyola, I
a
wanna
good amount of
say.
time, and so, I think with Loyola.
Loyola,
Yeah.
that's the name, it's coming to mind, yeah.
And so that was when we were, probably our most revenue we ever received here. So, fortunately, you got to find those long-term niches to really make that bigger amount of monies. But they do a great job of really trying to get what they have so far and keep adding to it, so.
Thank you, thank you.
Member Collins?
So, Rebecca, previously there was conversations during this meeting where when it came to third-party rentals, students and staff weren't feeling as though they were provided space for the activities on the campus. Can you kind of address a little bit the resolution and how it's balanced out now?
Yeah, so we do have an internal reservation system for the school. We don't treat, teachers and administrators, we treat them separately than with our our outside renters. They have a link, they fill out that link, it gives us all the information that they're interested in doing, because we maintain the entire calendar for the whole campus. We meet with, in a program meeting twice, every other week, every month, with all site administrators, as well as my team, and we talk about the spaces, everyone talks about their calendars. We all work together to make sure that it's well-balanced and being used. Whenever we are offering this space, we let the site administrators know, like, hey, Griffles is coming in today. But this space is, I would say, when it comes to balance, is taken several steps above that now, because with this online process, it's very easy for people to ask for the space, and we make sure that it's being, and it's not overlapping things. So we're the managing of the calendar.
Okay, so it does seem like it's not an issue anymore, and there's not a lot of
Hope not.
conversation around it, so I was wondering what the solution was.
I hope not,
Thank you for the
yeah.
clarification.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Okay. Seeing and hearing no further questions or comments. Any public written comments? Nothing. We are in discussion. Anything further to add to item 5.4? Okay. In that case, we are moving to action item 6.1, approval of the mid-year adjustment for operation and maintenance and capital budget, presentation by Emory Unified School District.
Can I ask, Chair, can we combine 6.1 and 6.2? The spreadsheet will cover both of those, if that's okay?
Absolutely, we can do that. And any objections by the committee? All right, we are all agreeing to combine it.
Okay. Good evening, board members, council members, and members of the audience. Tonight, we are going to look at the O&M maintenance budget for 25, 26 next year, and also the projected closing for this year, 24, 25. So now, you can see on this spreadsheet, the last 2 columns on your right-hand side are actually showing 24, 25 unaudited actuals, which is the projected June 30th balance on that budget. And starting on the top is where the sources of revenues come from, and it's projected to be a total of $1.9 million. And then going down to the expenses, it started with the salaries, and then go into the non-salary account, which is the utilities, materials, and all the contracted services. And you're seeing on that 24-25 year, for the third-party rental, we are projected to stay at 210,000. And then for the city share of the budget at 29%, which has come to 509,000. And then for the district contribution to this program is at 71%, which come to about 1.2 million. So this is for the closing for this year, 24-25. And then if we look at the 25-26 preliminary budget, let's start from the top. Okay, so 29% for the city is about 492, is a little bit reduction compared to this year. And then we are assuming the same third-party rental at 210,000. So for the district, at 71%, it's come to about 1.2 million. So the budget is pretty in alliance with this year 24-25 budget. And then now let's look at the expenses. First one is 375,000. That is the salaries for the 5 custodians. And then also for the 4.5% salary increase for next school year. And then for the overtime and the sub budget, 9,000 and the 24,000 stay the same like this year. And then we have the admin or supervisor salaries at 189. So you probably will question why there's such a big difference from compared to this year to next school year. It's because this year we have vacancy in the director position. But next year, we're assuming we should able to hire somebody and be on full-time for next school year. That is the reason why for the increase. And then for benefits, it's 393,000 versus 330,000 for this year. The main reason, again, is the director position. Then that means we are now get a full-time person in the office, and we should pay for the benefits for that position. And then the next one, 131,000 is the materials budget. And then 660 is the non-capitalized asset budget. And then the 67,000 is the property insurance based on the 5% inflation. But the last word I heard from ASIC, our insurance provider, we probably will face more than 5% inflation. But for now, I just going to budget it at 5% right now. And then the next set of number, the 109,000, 114,000, and 49,000, these are all utilities. The way that we come up with these number, but again, I want to remind everybody this is estimate. So we can always go adjust the budget. And then the first one, the 109,000 is for electricity. So what I did is look up what we actually spent this year, 334,000, minus the annual cost savings, because based on the assumption we should able to use the solar the whole year in 25-26. And if you look up the solar contract, it's spelled out on the contract, the estimated annual cost savings for the electricity is 231,000. So what I did is 334,000 minus the cost saving, which is 231,000. You come up with a number, and then you times 5% inflation. That's how we come up with the 109,000. And then the same thing for the gas. So we spent 112,000 this year, minus the cost saving, $3,697. We get a new number, and then use that number times 5% inflation. We come up with 114,000. And then for the water, so in this case, we spent 57,000 this year because of we have a leak in building A, which is this building, and the 57,000 is actually not a normal cost. Assuming we go back to the normal cost and then add on the 5%, that's 49,000 for next school year. And then we come to 67,000 for the repairs, that's after 5% inflation. And then for the PBIP, I believe last year when I talked to Pedro, I got 2% inflation. So in this particular item, I did not include 5%. I only did 2% inflation on this budget line item. And then the next one is the audit expenses, assuming 5%, so now it's come to $6,220. And then contracted services, $334,000, that's after 5% inflation. Same thing to the networking, so it's $5,250. So it's for a total of $1.9 million. Any questions on the budget?
Members, any questions? Seeing no questions, any written public comments? None. Any discussion on the budget items? Okay, we can move on to the next presentation, which we agreed to the same. Is it?
That was covered within that, the
Okay,
24
great.
and 25 column.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much, and we can move on to the.
Motion?
Yes, we have to. Thank you. We need a motion to approve.
I'll go ahead and prove as presented for, that was what, 6-1 and 6-2?
Yes. Motion by Member Collins, seconded by Member Welch. Let's do the roll call, please, for the votes.
Member Carr?
Aye.
Member Solomon? Member Welch?
Aye.
Member Chagoya?
Aye.
Member Collins?
Yes.
Member Donaldson?
Yes.
Member Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item, 6.3, approval of future ECCL Governance Committee meetings to start at 6:30 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Member
Third,
Welch,
fourth, fifth.
seconded by Member Collins.
That
Any?
was actually Lee, motion second before I did.
Okay, LC's, Member Lee, second by Member Lee. Any discussion on this? Seeing no discussion on this item, we can move on to roll call for the vote.
All right, Member Carr?
Yes.
Aye.
Member Solomon? Member Welch?
Aye.
Member Chagoya?
No.
Member Collins?
So I thought we were talking about it being at 6 o'clock. Is there any way we can kind of,
That's up for discussion, or you could before.
I know, but it says 6:30, but I thought we were talking about 6 o'clock.
I think 6:30 was thrown out last time on the future
Okay,
agenda.
all right, yes.
You
Better
moved.
than 5:30.
Okay. Next.
Member Lee?
Yes.
Did I do Member Donaldson?
No, but yes.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. It is moved by the majority, is approved. Item 6.3. Any update from Administrative Committee? Item 7.
This is if Dr. Scott or City Manager Bello have any comments?
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say congratulations to City Manager Latanya Bello for her 100 days. Has been very active on campus, so really appreciative. One effort was to have our students observe the retreat that was held with city council members, so that was exciting. Thank you to our school board members for your activism and participation on campus. It was great to see Member Welch out there pitching the ball to our students in softball. So I just want to extend an invitation to Civics Night. This is an event that happens at our high school, which is on June 5th, 5:30 to 7 p.m., where our seniors talk about pertinent issues that are related to our communities and solicit input from the community members. So hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Chair, and to members of this committee, and of course, my esteemed colleague here. I am new to this committee. This is my first meeting, and so I've enjoyed it. And yes, I've arrived and made my 100 days at the city of Emeryville. And I have visited with the principal here. I've done the chief is my belief at Anna Yates Elementary. I've gone over to the high school and took a tour over there and visited with the principal there. And I met many of you at the ribbon cutting for the new teen center. And so I have been quite active. And I do have a 100-day memo that's coming out in the next council packet that you all are welcome to take a look at. And so I'll have more of an update at our next meeting. But thank you all for welcoming me. And this has been awesome. And I appreciate the partnership that the city has with the school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Scott, and thank you, Latanya. We'll move on to future agenda items, if there are any. Do you want to change the time again? Okay. All right. Moving on to announcements. Any announcements from any members or staff? Member Collins, you're recognized for announcements.
Was more of a welcome and announcement for our new members at the table. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 2 on the city council side and 1 on the school board. And I just want to welcome you all and thank you.
Warm welcome from all of us. And moving on to adjournment. Oh, do you have a comment? Yes, please, Member Chagoya, please go ahead.
Future agenda item, I mean, this is a loaded one, but it's about, so we're gonna have the solar panels, and I just wanna know what's the latest on, once we store energy, like we have to sell it back, and then we have to give it to PG&E, we have to buy it back. Like, I just would like a presentation on that, what we have access to, what we have to pay for. I think we had originally budgeted not knowing that was gonna be the case, and I think state law changed so that we have to buy back whatever solar energy that
Ours is grandfathered in.
we're good, okay, all right. So yeah, just, I would like a solar power energy, like, update, yeah, thanks. That's clearly I don't know, so yeah, thank you.
Okay, support for that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have unanimous support, except Member Collins. Are you not supporting that, or are you?
Oh, information is always good, but it's
Okay.
just that I believe that during our school board meeting, we did come to the conclusion that they tried us, but it didn't fly. Yeah, they tried us, so it's a few things that we were able to put in motion but I guess it'll all come up in the presentation. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, we'll look forward to seeing the presentation. Member Donaldson, you're recognized for announcements.
Member Carr and I are going to Minneapolis in 2 weeks. 2 weeks for the National Nature Everywhere Conference, where we're going to learn about initiatives happening all around the country in connecting children to nature.
I'm very grateful to you, Member Donaldson, for inviting me to that. Really appreciate that. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, we'll bring back some great new ideas for our Parks and Rec.
Yeah, it's between the League of National Cities, National League of Cities, Nature Everywhere, Kaboom. These are the people that put on this conference, so it should be really exciting.
Any other comments? Any discussions? No more future agenda items. We are adjourned. It is now, someone has to give me the time because my company, 6:42 p.m.